Good evening. I call to order the Freeport Economic Development Corporation regular board meeting agenda. It is Tuesday, April 14th, 2026 at 6:01 p.m. Will you do the invocation, and Sandra, if you'll do the pledge?
Our Father, we come to you this evening thanking you again for everything that you do for us in our lives. We take so much for granted, and a lot of times we skip you and forget to say thank you for taking care of us. Be with us tonight in our meeting that will be productive and doing the best things we can for the city of Freeport. In Christ's name I pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That brings us to the item number 3 is citizen comments. We have none. Let's go on down to the consent agenda. Approved meeting minutes for March 10th, 2026. Are there any corrections that we know of? If there are none, then I entertain a motion to approve the minutes for March 10th, 2026.
I'll make that motion.
And thank you, Mr. Tyner. Do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you. Call to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Nay, there are none. The minutes are approved as read unanimously. The second, approve the financials. And I have a small comment. You have been doing just fabulous. As I understand, you did tell me about the STAR thing that it's the audit thing.
So it is a program that the comptroller does. There's six or seven different areas that you can submit your application, which is essentially just a paper. They have a certain criteria for everything you have to have posted in the efforts of being transparent. They review it thoroughly, and when it gets approved, then you're able to post that logo, and then we are featured on the comptroller's page. So they have a listing of anyone that has received a transparency star and which category it's in, and then there's a link that directs them straight to our page from there.
My goodness. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
The financial report is through the period ending March 31st, 2026. Sales tax was received in March for January activity. The EDC received $79,921, which was a decrease when compared to the same month last year. Currently, the EDC has received $73,554 less in sales tax when compared to the same time period last fiscal year. The EDC fund has revenues below expenses by $132,623. However, this is an improvement by $116,956 from last month's report, which actually had a shortfall of $249,579. As expected, we are starting to see that gap close. The fund balance is $4,731,316. The fund balance of the EDC projects fund is $1,235,647. The fund balance of the EDC marketing fund is $193,206. And the fund balance of the TERS fund was $1,223,418.
What's your pleasure, board? Any discussion on the financials?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
And I don't know if it's It's just at the bottom of the part, I'm just curious, you know how we have the, and I don't even know if you answered that or not, on the grants? So, you know how like we have a few, I'm trying to get to that section where, like the Sitting Bull in particular and Starbucks, you know how it has amount remaining? What
Yes, ma'am.
happens to those funds? I mean, since they're closed, so does that stay like that? I mean, how, you know what I mean? It's on the amount.
So typically,
remaining.
I don't update anything in this section without direction from Rachel. I kind of let her handle this.
Okay.
I can absolutely close those lines out if y'all are done with them. That's just something. Okay,
You
yeah.
know,
So
I was
ne-
just curious.
I'll close them out on that line.
Okay, and it's just those two, right? I mean, Sitting Bull and Starbucks? Or am I thinking about it? Any other ones that need to be closed out?
City Hall should be closed, Freeport Heritage was just recently closed. Most of these on here are closed with the exception of like Mama C.
Okay,
Those are recent ones, Ann's Party Place, we just said in for the closed hers today. Most of these are closed with the exception, Mama C's is still open. Rashawn's is still open, and Ann's Party Place. We submitted Ann's to be closed today, but most of these should be closed, so I'll get with Ashley to update her records.
okay, super. Just curious because they've been on there.
Good point, Sandra. Any other discussion, comments? So I entertain a motion for approval of the finances as read, and we might throw in there that we will cancel out on those other two items. Is that correct?
We will update all current EDC projects to either be opened or if they're closed, they won't be on this list for the next
Okay.
meeting.
I make a
I'll-
motion to approve the financials as read.
Perfect.
I'll second that.
Gary's second.
I'll second it.
Oh, we got a third now. That's good.
Thank y'all.
Sorry about that.
No, it's good.
I call the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. There are none. Financials are approved. Thank you. That brings us to item number 5, the public hearing, settlement and release agreement between Freeport Economic Development Corporation, G&L Holdings LLC, and AMG Texas Capital LLC.
Yes, Mr. President, tonight we're bringing this back at the council meeting. We had a robust discussion. Our attorney had felt that it's not, we could have settled this as litigation, but to be absolutely certain, we're gonna treat it as a new project, and go through the public hearing process tonight. And then, we'll do the first reading to the council tomorrow, and then the second reading will happen on Monday. This is just out of an abundance of caution to because the city attorney suggested that it's a new project. So just out of an abundance of caution, we're gonna treat it as a new project. Hopefully, the final vote for this matter will be next Monday, after a first and second reading.
Okay, is there any discussion or anybody? What was it that you were thinking, Sandra? Yeah, I think it's under our first discussion and action item.
Yes. Just anybody from the public, then close the.
Any other comments? I think there are none.
Say the time when you close out.
Okay. So we want to, we can just go on to item number 6. Yeah.
Close the hearing.
So we can close the public hearing now. That's 11 minutes after 6. So that brings us to item number 6, discuss and action items. Item number 1 out of that is discuss and take possible action regarding approval of a settlement and release agreement between the Freeport Economic Development Corporation, G&L Holdings, AMG, Texas Capital.
Yes, Mr. President, as mentioned, we're doing this out of an abundance of caution. Tonight's the public hearing, which we just had, and now the vote on the settlement agreement. I will read what will be on the council agenda both tomorrow and, for the first and second reading, both tomorrow and Monday, expertly written by Dr. Kelly. The proposed agreement is intended to resolve longstanding disputes related to property reversion, foreclosure actions, and competing ownership interests across multiple lots within the Velasco town site. It consolidates obligations between the FEDC, GL&L, and AMG into a single enforceable framework that facilitates infrastructure completion and residential development. The City Council considered a prior version of this agreement at its February 17, 2026 meeting. Following discussion, Council directed staff to pursue, and I'll just editorialize, along with it being a settlement, which gives it teeth right there. Council directed staff to pursue additional sureties, clarifications to strengthen accountability, ensure project completion, and improve overall enforceability. In response to the council's direction, the agreement has been revised and supplemented with the following key changes. Infrastructure completion requirements. The parties agreed to complete roadway and related infrastructure improvements, including North Avenue N, and West Royer extensions in accordance with city requirements with shared cost participation among the parties. Residential development obligations, GL&L and AMG are each responsible for development of specific lots with all construction required to comply with applicable city and county codes. Project completion date certifies the occupancy must be issued for all units by December 31st, 2027. Liquidated damages, failure to meet the completion deadline results in liquidated damages of $500 per day following a 10-day cure period. And finally, force majeure and extension provisions. Limited extensions are allowed for documented delays caused by the city or events outside the developer's control with strict notice requirements. And let me just say, the division of the road will be the EDC, the Freeport Economic Development Corporation will pay 50%, AMG will pay 25%, and GL&L will pay 25%.
Any other further discussion? I'll entertain a motion to approve this as read by Robert, and thank you, Ms. Kelly. Thank you so much. I think it covers, what I like, it gives a timeline, it gives some constraints, and it protects Freeport. Very well done.
What was the date for the completion? 2027? What was it?
2027, the last day of
December?
December 31st, 2027. It'll most likely be completed way before then.
And what did it, and maybe you read that and I just didn't hear it. So if they don't comply to that date, what happens? Was it in there?
Yes,
It was-
let me see, let me get back to it.
Did you hear it? Did you?
Certificates of occupancy must be issued for all units by December 31st, 2027. Failure to meet completion deadline results in liquidated damages of $500 per day following a 10-day cure period, and then the matter would actually probably go back to the court too, because it's a settlement agreement. Is that correct, Lauren?
That is correct. The liquidated damages is supposed to be incentive for them to get it done, and if they start hitting them, they're gonna start moving faster. But as you said, it should be done long before that.
Any other discussions? What do you think? I entertain a motion for that.
I make a motion to approve the settlement that Robert just read.
Thank you, Senator. Do I have a second?
I second the motion to approve.
Thank you, Gary. Call to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? There are none. Passes unanimously. Thank you, Robert, and thank you, Dr. Kelly. Appreciate that. Item number 2, discuss and update Centerpoint and Main Street alley repair status and actions taken.
Yes, Mr.
Robert?
President, thank you, Mr. President. I brought Toby Cohen, the IT tech, to help me discuss this, but first, if you recall, I've been saying, I promise, I've been reaching out to Centerpoint, and it doesn't explain the I left a few phone call messages, but apparently our email was being rejected by theirs, and theirs was being rejected by ours, and I only figured out when I was at an Economic Development Alliance meeting, board meeting, and I talked to Cam Yearty, who's the economic developer on staff for Centerpoint, and I said, hey, Cam, have you been getting my emails? And he said, what emails? So I sent him one. It didn't come in. I sent him another one. It didn't come in. Then I sent it to his Gmail, and it came in. So I was like, Houston, we have a problem. So Toby's here to talk about what that problem is.
Afternoon. Turn the mic a little bit here. So basically, increased security protocols. A lot of the big companies are using Centerpoint, DPS, big government facilities, big businesses. Our old domain, the TXUS, was never really signed properly. It's effective, it's secure, but it doesn't look that way to a security email system. So when we send emails to Centerpoint from it, they're looking at it and it's not even going to their spam, it's basically going to their quarantine. Which is, I track it from our side, FedEx tracking number, like you see, make sure the package arrives. I can see it arriving, but then their system is blocking it. So what I did for Robert is I had him migrate to our new TXGov, which is probably one of the most trusted domains that we've got everything set up under, possibly. So that resolved that issue. The reverse is also true. Our new email security system has been filtering out quite a few malicious emails, and then occasionally we'll snag one that is legitimate. So I've been going through and reviewing those and releasing those on a daily basis now until we get that fine-tuned.
The good news is we're back on track. We are both Dr. Kelly and I are in communication with the team at Centerpoint and the engineer, the gas engineer. So we hope to get those lines buried. Also working with the trash company, Amero Waste, because they've identified not only the lines need to be lowered, but now we have the power lines to contend with. So there's a whole new issue, but we're going to get it done. And we've worked out, I think, a solution for Mama C's to have trash collection services. We discussed that with them. Both Dr. Kelly and I had a meeting, not together, but meetings with Amero Waste today.
Cool. So you've got the plumbing things taken care of, you've got the trash thing taken care of, and the alley repair. Okay. Good. Is there any, Robert, remember in that back alley it was collapsed in? And what's the status of that?
That collapse over by Bill's building, is that what
Yeah,
you're talking about?
right.
As far as to my knowledge, it's still collapsed. I went out there with Reggie and Gardner Campbell, actually. We were looking at some mowing items and looked at that. But that, is set to be, that line is set to be lowered.
Okay.
From what I understand, it's supposed to be to 36 inches, and it's not. I think it's more like 8 inches. So we're determining whether they just went in and did that and didn't have permits and things like that, because that'll determine who pays the cost.
Okay. But
Dr.
you're,
Kelly, do you want to add anything?
yeah,
Okay.
okay. Any further discussion there? Okay. Brings us to item number 3, discuss and take possible action to vote for new business recommendation Antonelli's Root Beer Stand.
Hello. Go ahead and start.
Yes.
All right. Thank you for
Please,
allowing us
please,
to.
if you can lift the microphone
Okay.
just a little bit.
All right. Thank you for allowing us to be here tonight to kind of tell you our thoughts and ideas on Antonelli's. Basically, think it could be like one of the, or a very neat place in Freeport, kind of bring it back to life. Talked about doing root beer, floats, banana splits, snow cones, snack foods. Think it has a whole lot of potential. We'd make it, brighten it up, put string lights out there. It'd be a real neat place for the kids to go after football games, after baseball games. Plan to coordinate with the schools and the leagues, just do all sorts of things to make it get the community involved, and think it could be really neat. You got anything or questions?
Basically, we just bring it back to life. Keep all the architecture, signage, because we know it's a historical building, and just spruce it up and basically make it a new snow cone shop. Like I have a few in Angleton, Wakey Wakeys. I don't know if y'all know that place, but just bring it back to life and for the city.
Me and Robert have been talking about it for a long time. I think he's sold on the idea. We've talked quite a bit about what it could be. And a lot of it is to kind of pay homage to its history. We talked about calling it Nellie's or Antonelli's if we had to, but I think there's some plaques and stuff we could hang up and a replica. Like we'd want to pay homage to it and make it a really neat place. And at night, right now for the past, I don't know how long, but it's just been a kind of not an eyesore, but like just sat there and nobody's ever done anything with it. We just think it could be a neat place for the city and the kids and everybody in general.
Thank you.
Are you guys local?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, back in the 1950s, Mr. Antonelli bootlegged whiskey out of his. You don't have any plans for that, do
Not
you?
right. At the moment, we don't.
Not yet. Maybe later.
We can vote on it.
What's the alcohol
That's
content?
a
in
true
your
story,
beer?
though, what I just told you.
So would you be changing, maybe, I think you said it, but would you be carrying the name, or you can't do that? Or are you going to change the name of the building?
It's up to, we can still discuss it, but we talked about Nellie's or Antonelli's.
Yeah, I don't know if we can do the Antonelli since.
Does it have a patent? I don't know how that
Yeah,
works.
I don't know if it has a patent, but we thought Nellie's would kind of pay homage to it in the same font. But I didn't know if we could use Antonelli's with the family.
I mean,
Yeah.
All the citizens from Freeport, though, that knew that place when it was on Second Street, it's always been Antonelli's. That's what
Yeah.
they're gonna
Yeah.
go by.
I mean-
right?
And
I don't
that's,
have a problem with it. I just didn't
I
know
would
the family.
personally prefer it to stay that name if it's doable. I'd like to see if it could be researched to see if it could stay with that name because of that historical
yeah.
name.
I-
And perhaps even, I know you would be yours, but I like the color, everything about it, because that's what's been here so long. But I really love the idea about using it again because it's something that's historical, right? But people love all that ice cream, root beers. It's family oriented, would bring people to in front of the park right here again. So, I would just love to see if we could keep the name, just because even the younger generation knows that name because their parents have told them about that building. So even though it's been so long ago, even the youngsters know that's what that is.
Yeah,
So-
that would be fine. We even talked about putting stickers and memorabilia, like if we sold shirts eventually, if it did good, have the building on our logo, kind of, like the stickers we put on the cups and all that stuff, paying a lot of homage to its history.
Yeah, we don't really, we would like to name it Antonelli's, but we'd have to research that, like you say, see if it's possible.
Roberts, you could get, see if it's copyrighted.
Yeah, here's the thing. They could, and correct me if I'm wrong, Lauren, they could name their business anything, but I think what everybody's alluding to is the name that's painted on the building. That absolutely could stay. and they could be called something else under doing business as, et cetera. But what we're really talking about is the preservation of a historic building. That building is not original to that site, however, the building is historic. Dr. Kelly, myself, and Reggie Harris from the building department went out and looked at it. We've toured it along with Darren, we would certainly not like to, we know the place that it has in the collective memory of this community, and so we want to respect that. No final deal has been done yet, but again, I emphasize, and Lauren, again, correct me if I'm wrong, the name of the business could absolutely be different than the name that's on the building.
That is correct.
There it is, Antonelli.
That sounds great.
And just so the board knows, tonight, we brought this to it because they may ask for a business improvement grant later. We don't know what they need. However, we're in negotiation with the city. We just want the board to affirm that this would be a good economic development project, and we recommend it to the city.
Do we need to make a motion for that, Robert?
Yes.
Okay.
Just to recommend to the city.
So I entertain a motion that we are going to have a vote of confidence for Antonelli's and doing their job, and that we would support that.
Or should I say, sure, why not?
I second that, sure, why not?
Okay, I think we got a first and a second. We'll call the vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. There are none, passes unanimously. So you've got a big vote of confidence here from us. Okay, thank you, guys.
I have one thing on this, Robert.
You want to say something?
Yeah. The Brazoria County Historical Society gave us a little plaque for that building. Excuse me. Last I saw it, Lance said it,
Okay?
but it's supposed to be mounted on that
It's
building.
supposed to be, we'll look for that. Thank you for providing that information.
Okay. Good point. Mr. McGinty, thank you. Let's see. Brings us to item number 4, discuss,
Number 3.
Are we still-
Number 3, yes. Oh, Arlene's.
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 Did we skip something?
Or do I have a different, I'm sorry, I have a different agenda. I have an old copy. My apologies.
all right, are we good now? We're on
Yes,
item
we're
number
good.
4.
Sorry about that.
Discuss and take possible action on business improvement grant application for Arlene's.
Yes, good evening, Mr. President. We have Cedric, who runs Arlene's. Rashawn wanted to be here this evening, but could not, but I think we could get through the principles of this grant, or the specifics. And Cedric is gonna talk about his business a little bit, and then we can go into the details of the request for the grant. Thank you, Cedric.
Thank you, Mr. Robert. Good evening to everybody, and thank you for inviting me out. My wife and I came down here 3.5 years ago, and no matter how strange it may sound, it seems to sound strange to people. God sent us. Didn't know a soul. Didn't have a nickel. And he told me to come and sell barbecue. All right? And that's what I've been doing. My wife has been doing soul food. We've worked in various industries on the director level most of our lives. But we've always had a passion to want to cook and serve. And that's what we came to Freeport to do, to be in addition to the dining atmosphere. We are family orientated, family friendly. We've been on this project of building the new dining room because we have a large customer base. For the past 2 years, Google, Yelp, and some Weary or some app, they say that we're the best restaurant in Brazoria County, 5-star, only restaurant 5-star. So we need to have accommodations because our cuisine we serve is not takeout food, and that's how we've been serving it. You can't ride down the street eating oxtails and barbecue and peach cobbler and stuff like that. You have to sit down and dine. It's dining food. So Rashawn has agreed to build us a building out, and we've had some problems this project was supposed to be a 90-day to 180-day project. We in our 25th month. 25th month.
Lauren, your microphone is on.
We're in our 25th month.
My apologies, I thought it was off.
Speak more in your microphone there, buddy.
Okay. Is that any better?
If you want, you can take it out of the mic holder and just
Yeah,
hold
okay,
it
I'll
if
try
you'd
that.
like.
That's better. I can hear my
There you
voice
go.
now. Okay. So we're in our 25th month. And most of you know, Mr. David knows, Mr. Robin knows. I sit there every day waiting to do whatever needs to be done. We have some engineers, the only ones that will come and do it was out of Houston. Some guys out of Houston, and they been dragging on it. But where we are right now, we're in the final stretch of completing this building so we can open the doors. We do have some issues. One of them is the windstorm rated glass doors. They threw some regular doors up there. They were paid. You know, we didn't have problems with the building code department, with any permits. We didn't have problems with the money, except for we released it too fast, in good faith, thinking it would speed the project. And they started cheaping out the project. And we have doors that won't pass windstorm. And the 2 garage doors, we're gonna remove one and put glass doors there. But on all 5 doors with the garage door, they need to be windstorm rated, and that is an issue. Also, we're gonna keep one of the garage doors on this side of the building facing the street. But it's a regular garage door. It's the kind you put on the house. Windstorm would not approve it. So rather than taking it down and trying to figure out how to get the money to get a windstorm rated garage door, we can cover it with steel garage door, which is a lot less expensive. Mr. Harris said they would definitely approve if we did that, if we had the steel roll down door. So that's where we at. And since I got the microphone, let me throw this in there. We have the sewer system, the drainage system in place, but it's not connected to the city sewer. And we have a new meter that the city came and put out last year, but it's not connected to the building. And I'm not one that believes in breaking the rules today. That's a long, long time ago I used to do that. Getting people to come in and jacklegging it on the weekend when there's no inspection sets us up for a big serious situation later on. You know, there's no way to guarantee the quality. And when insurance find out about it, the city find out about it, we shut down. We're here to stay. We're here to stay, and I'm not looking for any trouble, but any help that the city can do would be greatly appreciated. Thank you. Any questions?
Any discussion, guys
So-
and ladies?
What are you asking for?
I'd like to go over what they're asking for. They're
Okay,
asking
thanks.
for, as Mr. Cedric said, the doors. The estimated repair would be $21,000, which is found on page 65 of your packet. This is one of those where remember we did the retroactive for a month, and they did the work because they got a good deal on the doors. And they're now approaching the board for the grant, which is allowable. And the completion date would be April 15th. And it would be Rhombus Inc., which is our friend Rashawn, is the owner. So again, it's $21,000, and that would be in the facade improvement, which is a $10,000 category. So with a $21,000 project, we'd award them $10,000.
Okay. You still think it's gonna be completed by tomorrow?
Yesterday it was supposed to be finished.
Okay.
So we still working on yesterday.
All right.
Okay, our tentative grand opening date, you know, I'm not letting everybody know because things happen, is May 16th. That's a Saturday.
Okay.
We're gonna try to
Great.
open then.
Just a quick question.
Yes.
How many people work there?
Right now, just me and my wife.
Okay.
But there will be about 8 people, 4 in the daytime and 4 in the evening. We're gonna expand the hours, open up earlier, and it's community driven. If the community wants us to stay to 12 o'clock, we'll be there at 12 o'clock. They want us to stay to 2 o'clock, we'll be there at 2 o'clock. So right now, we're gonna do like 8 to 10, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You know, we have to gauge it, you know, we won't just that. But basically, 8 employees.
Right.
Bartender, 2 in the dining room, 3 in the kitchen, and 1 man making sure the bathrooms and the parking lot and all that stuff stay clean.
That's the good guy.
Yeah, that's the
Are you
main
gonna
part.
do any advertising, about these new hours and what you're actually
Yeah, we
doing
have it
down
on
there?
the website. We have a website.
Only a website?
Yes, yes, so far. We have some people that's working on marketing, promotions, advertising, all that stuff. I have a hard time operating the phone. So all I can do is tell them and hope they get it there.
There's a reporter at the Fax that puts information out about new businesses and stuff. I'd get in touch with her.
Yes, sir. I have their number.
Take
Okay.
advantage
Once
of
I'm
the free
certain of
stuff.
the date, I don't want to blast the date out to everybody
Sure.
until I'm certain.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because once it's
I
out there, I
agree
can't
with
pull
that.
it back.
Yeah.
And of course, the EDC would help with promotions with our website and also our Facebook page, et cetera, as we do with numerous businesses.
Thank you.
Is your parking adequate to handle your increased dining spaces?
What was your question?
Is your parking setup adequate to handle if you're anticipating more people and having
We
more
have
dining?
all from the building, the new building, all the way to Cherry Street. Rashawn purchased all of that, but that's a good question. I left that part out. We do need a driveway built. I don't want people trying to jump the curb when some of those sports cars and tap the spoilers and stuff under there. Yeah, we need to do that. Otherwise, people are gonna be parking on the street. We know they can't park in the alleyway. And I think when Shelby was the building code director, she told me we could use the old City Hall building to park over there. You know, but if we had a driveway,
Yeah.
like Sweet Teas does, they can drive to park. We have plenty of parking that way. I just don't advise anybody to do it unless they got a truck.
Yeah. Have you investigated the cost of that?
Unofficially, yes, somewhere around 2,500, I think, to put that driveway in.
I'm just putting it out there in case it's something we might want to entertain, including at this point.
I would love that.
We don't have any estimates, though. Do you have estimates?
No?
We'd need to get, we'd
Yeah,
need to
hard estimate.
approve that in a
Yeah,
separate
okay.
one, just because, yeah.
How many would you need, Mr. Johnson?
You know, we prefer to see competitive estimates, but an EDC doesn't have to do that. But if you could get 2 or 3 estimates, so we can, you know, we can go with the lowest price, that'd be great. And it's, when you say the driveway, you're just talking about the entrance, so you
Yes,
can get
just
up where the
where you
U-Haul
drive,
trucks are.
Cut
Yeah,
the curb out and lay it down and, you know, where people can drive
Right.
in and come out at the same time instead of, because some people are trying to jump the
Right.
curb now. And I'd be like, man, please don't do that. You know? Come to get some food and you'll tap your car.
I got a couple of things I'd like to add to all this. I've been going there forever since they've been in there. Best oxtails I've ever had, period. But they're hard workers. Mr. Cedric does what he says he's gonna do. Every new business we can open in the downtown zone is gonna bring more people down there, give people options on where they want to dine, what kind of food they want. So this is a really good thing to have this where it's at, so.
Thank you, Mr. David.
I think where we're at is looking at a motion for $10,000. Is that
yes,
right,
sir.
Robert?
Yes, sir. Total project amount, $21,000. Reimbursement by the EDC would be $10,000 for facade improvements.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve up to the 10,000 for the facade for the grant application for Arlen's.
And I'll second that.
I have a second there. Any other discussion? Call to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? There are none. Looks like you got some facade stuff.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you very
That's it.
much.
Yes,
We'll
sir.
see you
Thank you.
there.
All right.
Get some
You're
oxtails.
welcome. Yes, yes, sir.
Okay.
All right, that brings us to item number 5, discuss and take possible action on purchase of program Placer.ai.
Yes, Mr. President, if you recall, last month, we were directed to look into Placer AI and the capabilities that it has compared to other programs. Rachel has spent a good deal of time and effort on this and has come up with some great conclusions. Also, I haven't discussed the details, but I know the city is also interested in getting on board with this. Details have not been discussed, but the city would, so we could use it for both. Is that correct? Yes. Okay.
So, looking into this program, there's lots of features, specifically things that we haven't had in the past, like event analysis, where we can look at peak times that, like during an event, that people are visiting there. Crowd tracking to see the economic impact of those crowds and how businesses are increasing funds and sales based off of that event. And then a leak analysis, so we can see what's leaving Freeport, why, and we can kind of evaluate that. The cost for this recommended at for $22,000 a year for the next 3 years. We can lock in that rate. If we don't lock in the rate for 3 years, it goes up about 15% each year. So that's why I'm recommending the 3-year contract. Otherwise, this program is the best in the business. Any training that I go to, they're usually a part of helping with the trainings. I've evaluated this for the return on investment versus what we previously had, which was AlphaMap. AlphaMap is no longer going to be supported. And when it comes to our city, we want to make sure that we're investing in the best and not just something that is out there that might be the cheapest. We want to make sure that we're getting the best value out of our time and efforts there. So they're also looking at, technology assistance, things like that. So.
And this would be replacing AlphaMap. Let's go.
Correct. AlphaMap called me last month, and I was told that they are no longer being supported. We were paying about $6,000 for that program, so it is quite a jump. But again, it offers so many more features. If you look in your packet, there's over 50 different features that are just the most used ones. It doesn't even include things that we were using in AlphaMap, so this is kind of being absorbed into the same features that we were using, plus a lot more. Anybody will tell you that data is your biggest proponent as far as giving information and being able to take to anyone that might be interested in our city. They will be able to pull demographics, which we had in AlphaMap, but we're going to have so much more in depth that it's really, it would take me hours to go through all of the features that they have there. So you have, again, you have that in your packet to be able to go through and see kind of what they have. I know our biggest thing was that we never had access to the event tracking information. So, for instance, the Christmas event that we had, we know there was a great turnout. There was a lot of competition with other cities having events at the same day. We want to be able to show how many came out to our event, where they came from, how much it impacted downtown, and that's just really valuable information to have.
And if I may say, Rachel, if you said this, excuse me, I'm sorry. We can also track where people are going in town and also our economic leakage, which is people leaving town to get other goods and service, and we can address that in real time much better with this program, correct?
Who chose this one, the Placer?
Placer AI contacted me a couple years ago. I've looked into other programs that were suggested throughout other companies, such as like Nextsite, things like that, and they don't compare. I actually spoke with their representative at the training that I went to last November, 2 years ago. And again, the amount of information that they're able to provide is just astronomical. They even have like a COVID analysis, so we can see after, before and after COVID, what happened, where things might have fallen down. So I've seen their name many a times when I go to any training webinars, things like that. It's like, oh, we got our information from Placer. There was actually other businesses here in town that were part, when we asked for their financials, they would send us from Placer AI as well, that just showed so much information, how many employees that they had employed throughout the year, how much income that they had made, and it's anybody with that program would be able to access that information. So that's how we've continued to have Placer AI kind of come in front of us. I do know that Dr. Kelly actually made at our last meeting saying that she as well had looked into their program, so she's very familiar with it. And it's just, again, every time that I use any information, I usually end up hearing, oh, we got this from Placer AI, or it was sent to us from Placer AI. And so if they're involved in all aspects of what we work in, it made sense to use them as opposed to someone that I've never really heard of.
Okay.
So how much did you say it was for the 3 years? Because I'm looking at that 1 year, 2 year, 3 years. So it's 21,000, 22,200, and then 23. So is that what that is if you don't sign for a 3-year contract?
That's correct. That's a 1 year. I had them evaluate pricing based off of 1 year, just so that we would have options.
And it's 22,000?
And it's 22,000, yes.
They wouldn't start us off at 21,000?
They could probably swing the 21,000.
Can you talk them down?
I will definitely do my best. And they've stayed in contact with me for the last 2 years as well. Like I said, they contacted me the very first year I was here. And, but yeah, I don't think they would have a problem going with that if we locked it in for 3 years as opposed to 1 year.
So is this Placer AI, is that per user, or like, let's say it's only for your computer? Like, would Robert be able to do this too from his computer? So how many users can look at this?
I believe the last time I talked with them, they said we could have up to 10 users or more. It's based off of company.
Okay.
So it's not per user, it's per company.
Per company? Okay.
So I'm looking at page 148 of the package, and it shows first year 15,000, second year's.
Yes, that was the initial contract, again, for the first year. They're going to have to prorate our amount to start for May 1st. So there's a prorated amount that's listed in there. And then if you look at the very first page where it has like base edition, 15,000, and then there's 3,000 for the retail commercial property, and then there's another 3,000 for contacts. That is how we can actually look at potential open spaces. And in Alpha Map, that was previously a tenant finder where it would make suggestions. In this one, it would pull up those suggestions, and we would be able to have contact information for their headquarters, for their real estate companies, anything like that, to be able to reach out to them and entice them to come down this way.
And you said the 31st page, that's the page number of their packet? Or what? I'm just trying to look at what you're seeing.
Page 150 has a payment breakdown.
Oh. 150. Is that 150 of our packet?
Yes.
Okay.
So 147 through 150 has
right.
pricing information there.
Thank you.
So why would it be prorated? It doesn't start from like the day of contract, like if it's May 1st through May 1st, 2027, it doesn't go through a
We
year? Or
absolutely
does it start in January and we're already in?
We absolutely can have it go from May to May.
Uh-huh.
I figured that since it's kind of a line item that we would need to budget for, having it
Oh,
prorated
okay.
from May to October, and then in October, we would pay the full year, so that, because right now it's at the end of the year, and while we do put the budget funds away to pay for it, it just makes it easier if I can pay for it at the beginning of the year.
So I'm assuming we have the funds for the prorated? Okay,
Yes.
I understand.
We did not, being that Alpha Map got canceled, we were paying $6,000 a year for them. That would go into the prorated amount, and it's only a few dollars more for the prorated, so it's not any extra funds for this year. The extra funds would go into next year's.
Okay, so I found on page 151, invoicing and payment terms, it says fees for the 36-month initial term are $48,000 and just under $700. And then there's a schedule of payments. So is that what we're talking about, spending on this?
So this was for the base edition. We were planning on keeping Alpha Map with our next site contract. Once I was contacted and told Alpha Map was not going to be part of that, I went and suggested that we go up to the, there's either baseline or premium. There's not an in-between. So this contract here is just to kind of show you what it would look like for the base edition, but that does not include any information about properties. It does not include any information about contacts. So if we were to find someplace that we wanted to put in a specific building, we wouldn't have that information, be able to reach out and contact them. We'd have to use an external company to do that.
Okay,
So that's why I recommended the higher amount. However, this fee that it's talking about here, the 36-month trial term, is base amount, and then, of course, 1 year, not 3 years.
Yeah. So the $22,000 per year for the first 3 years, that's just verbal commitment you've gotten from them?
Correct. I want to
Okay.
have our attorney take a look at it
All
just
right,
to make
that's
sure
good
there's not
enough.
any changes.
All right.
I have a couple of questions. I know, Placer AI is a good unit. And it's used in a lot of other cities. It's used in a lot of other universities. And it's got some good things to it. And I know that it's a little pricey. And, but it's a raw data gatherer and it's got a fancy dashboard. But, yeah.
The information that it gathers is, especially with losing Alpha Map, but even with Alpha Map, the information that it gathers is far more precise. It tells you who to call, who to reach out to, what business. I mean, it just goes into a level of detail that surpasses. And I thought Alpha Map was the, great as sliced bread, but this goes much deeper.
Placer's, in my
yeah.
opinion, is better set up. Okay. I was just throwing that out there for discussion.
So are we sure it's going to run on the hardware we've got? Has Toby blessed this?
Yes, when they initially contacted me, I
Okay.
had him look into it. It was just kind of one of those programs. I was like, oh, I really want this. Can we use it?
Yeah.
It's based off of the cloud, so there's not any issues with us being able to use it. And it has an extra added feature of mobile connectivity. So even with low internet, or I'm not sure the terminology Toby would use, but yes, he has blessed this program.
All right, thank you very much.
Just a quick question. So it's fancy, but this is not my chess game. When that gives us some information, give me an example of how we're going to utilize that information. It's going to do something for us.
Like I said, I know I'm kind of focusing on the event portion here because that's a really big portion that we've been missing. Outside of that, we'll be able to target a building, like let's say our 210 on Main Street building, and we'll say, okay, I want to put a tenant in there that will give me recommendations based off of demographics, based off what's missing in our city. It uses a lot of formulas and algorithms to give us suggestions. Once we get that suggestion, and this is very similar to AlphaMap, and that it would give us a suggestion, tell us why it gave us those suggestions, and then we'd be able to click on those businesses and be able to reach out to their headquarters. Right now, AlphaMap would just give us information for the store that it recommended. So if the store was in Houston, we'd get the phone number for the Houston store, and then if I reached out to them, they go, oh, you need to call our corporate office. This gives us that information, emails, phone numbers, and because they're a widely known product, they do have a lot more connections than AlphaMap did previously. So that's one area. The other thing is like trade area demographics profile maps. Report provides a visual representation of demographics of your property's trade area using options like median household income. So it's not going to suggest a high name, purse company or something like that whenever that's not something that their demographics sell to. So it's going to go through that information. And again, there's quite a bit of stuff here. There's a shopping center ranking map. Site selection by similarity. Again, there's so many here, but we've been using AlphaMap, and I've looked at other products that are similar to that, and there's really no comparison. This just gives us so much more information, and so while you might have another product that might be cheaper, you're not, it's kind of like whenever you go to the store and you get a tool. The cheaper option is not always the one that you want to get when you go shopping for. It's the one that's going to fit what we need best. And having site selection information specifically will help when people come to visit for sites. We'll be able to select that, and it will generate a report that we can then hand to someone else. We go to networking conventions and stuff like that. We'll be able to generate reports like maps that show what we can offer as a city, what our demographics are, without having to reach out to our current partner retail strategies for that information. Right now I have to reach out to them and go, hey, I need a booklet. This program will generate that without having to ask for it, so it gives us more control over what's going there instead of relying on another company. So there's a lot of benefits in having that control brought back to the office as opposed to sending it out.
If I may, Gary, the information is just more granular and then precise. Right now, and Rachel remembers this day well, we get, here's some recommended sites, and you have all kinds of numbers and names, and you don't know who to call, and it's not the best system, whereas this is like, this is who you call, this is the match, this is why it's the match, here's the demographic data that supports our recruitment efforts. It just, again, I can't go into the technical details like Rachel can, but it just provides better support in our mission than we're getting right now. That's no knock against AlphaMap. It does what it does, but this is just the next level by far.
I will say with AlphaMap, all of our information was almost 2 years old. So this will give us within the last quarter, if not within the last month. With the event stuff, it's the day of. So, for instance, again, with the Christmas event, Maria asked me to pull some information for her. When I did, I got how many visits downtown got 2 years ago as opposed to her event that day. And so a lot of our information that we were pulling from AlphaMap was old and outdated. And again, AlphaMap did what it was supposed to at the time that we had it. It's just now we need to be able to hit things a little bit harder and be able to come at it sooner as opposed to, okay, well, this was great 2 years ago, but, an auto repair shop, while, great to have options, may not be the best fit now. or, you know, a boutique or something like that. We want to be able to put in what's going to fit in with our community now and what it needs.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? That's a lot of stuff, Rach. Man.
Well, it sounds like it's gonna position us to keep improving. And I'm in favor of that.
You know, you don't want to be afraid of technology. You want to embrace it, put it in your business. And I think this is a good step forward for us, although it's a lot of money. And you know, it's tough to look at it and see if there's an ROI and all that kind of thing, but I agree with Ron. And I know Gary's the same way. You know, you want to embrace those kind of things. So,
And if I may, just to your point, you're right, you know, we can't determine until we've used it, et cetera. But I have surveyed, I called Carlton Schwab in Austin, the head of the TEDC. He helped me find some other directors, and to a person, they were like, yeah, this is a game changer. They all were very impressed with it. Other economic development corporations that have it. I didn't check on the city side, I just kept within economic developers, but I'm sure there are other cities that are, you know, using it that say the same thing. I did not hear anything bad about it.
Good evening, Danielle Kelly. While I can't officially commit to helping fund this without council approval, I have had discussions with Rachel about us committing some funding to it because the city is very interested in using this as well. So there's hopefully some offset on the cost for you guys.
whatever you can do to help. Our hands are always open. Well, what's the pleasure of the board?
So are we supposed to be approving just the prorated amount or the full amount for 3 years? How is that looking?
I'm going to go ahead and say to approve the purchase starting as of May 1st, and that you, once you approve the purchase, the prorated amount plus the 3 years. So let me get back to that,
So it's a
please.
prorated amount and the 3 years?
Correct.
Do you have the figure somewhere?
Or is that the prorated
I
of
see
the
something
first
on
year
here,
and
I don't know
the
if
2
this is
years?
correct. It's 48,696. What is that on page?
That was the base
150.
edition. So,
Oh, that's base?
yes, so if you want, just go ahead and approve the 3 years, and we won't do the prorated.
We could do the prorated just in the budget. My recommendation would be just approve the 3 years at 22,000 per year, and we can figure the budgeting out on the other side.
So we need to approve 66,000?
Yes.
How did it get to 56?
66.
Oh, 66, okay, I agree with that. Okay. Like, what did I hear? So I would make a motion then that we do approve the 66,000 for 3 years.
Okay, I have a second,
I'll second.
and Sandra seconds. Any other discussion?
Just out of curiosity, is there an out if it doesn't live up to what it's supposed to?
Penalty. Fee.
There is an out if they end up sharing our information, privacy, things like that without our knowledge. But we can evaluate within the 3 years. And in the meantime, I'm always looking at other programs to see what's gonna be more effective for the dollars that we are spending. So don't think I'm gonna get this and then just sit on it. I'm always interviewing other companies.
Reason I ask is there's another party in this city that will ask that very question, so. Okay.
Any other discussion?
The reason I'm going with the 3-year proposal is this is obviously the top-rated software out there, as best I can tell. I'm not an expert on it, but, and, And I've always been a supporter of going with top-rated software if you can afford it.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else? If not, then I call the vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. There are none. Passes unanimously. Good job. That brings us to discuss and take possible action on the water valve project number 6 on the discussion and action items.
Yes, Mr. President, Dr. Kelly and I discussed the Android contract. If you recall, the valve project, we approved $209,000 last fall. The contract was awarded to Android, and currently, they would have to shut down and do one valve at a time. So they need to do, to increase efficiency in how much they can do, they need to do it at night, which necessitates a $10,000 increase in cost to pay payroll, things like that. We're asking the board to approve that. It's a change order, so it doesn't need a new contract. We could stick with the existing contract, but we would need a motion to add $10,000. Did I hit everything?
I just want to add that we are going to have a meeting with Robert, myself, our Nick Meeks, our utilities manager, and a representative from Android. I think there's a way to impact the businesses less, and we might be able to absorb this $10,000 cost by looking more strategically at where these valves are placed and placing less of them. Because my big concern is taking all of these businesses offline over and over and over, because 25 valves, you have to take all the businesses off at the same time. So there's a potential that it won't cost anything with the reevaluation of the number of valves.
So we could just do a motion if you want to, of up to $10,000 and leave it at that, and then we could negotiate and see where we fall, just as long as we don't go over $10,000.
Okay.
And Mr. President, I would remind you of the bad effect, I was gonna say deleterious, but I won't say that, remember when unfortunately Starbucks kept shutting down and other businesses, but we were talking with Starbucks, they were losing $10,000 to $15,000 per day in sales when they would have to shut down due to the water system. And that's why we started this project in the first place, the one previous to this, putting these valves so we could isolate it much better without shutting down the whole city. So as Dr. Kelly said, I mean, it has a terrible effect on businesses when they're shut down.
Definitely, I can understand. So as I understand it, you're gonna get with the city guys and you're gonna try to see if there's, and all the stuff needs to be done, but
Right.
maybe there's a little better way of doing it so it's not as much disruption.
So it's going to be the city representatives and the contractor to just take one more critical look at
Yeah.
where these are placed.
I agree with that. Yeah. Poor planning always precedes poor performance. Well, I entertain a motion, and I guess what we're looking at is up to 10,000, and it could be less, something like those lines. So I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve up to 10,000 for the water valve project.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Thank you, Mr. Blackman. I'll call the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Passes unanimously. That brings us to number 7, Board and Executive Director comments. Well, I'll start with you, Robert.
Okay, let me get to Okay, this week we will be releasing our waste finding survey to employees and council members, and then we'll bring that back for analysis. But that's happening this week. We have the Reimagining Main Street workshop on April 18th, which is next Saturday. I'll be one of the speakers. Reggie is going to be one of the speakers, and then we have a realtor from the Hispanic Chamber speaking at that. If you recall, we're providing food for that event. It was going to be Mama C's, but they've had a computer glitch, and I had told Rachel, have, our friends at, Mi Pueblito, on standby, so we're using them, for the breakfast. But that will be held at the museum. The Pixie House had the RFQ approved at the last city council meeting. And Reggie announced this morning at the EDC Main Street Fire Marshal, et cetera, meeting that he'll be heading that up. And we'll, of course, assist him in any way possible. But there's going to be fortunately, there's going to be a lot of coordination with the Texas Historical Commission on that project. We're looking at potentially having those beams on 208 removed. Somewhere there exists a report by our engineers that says it's safe. I'm going to get with Dr. Kelly to see if we can track that down, or maybe even Toby, because Mr. Petty told me about it, that he had it, but I haven't, it's not that I think he's lying, but he had never gotten the actual report to me. But we've had, yes, go ahead.
Thank you. I have emailed Kimley Horn. They are actively looking for it, so as soon as I have a report back from them, I'll forward it.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
What
yeah,
beams
those
are-
beams.
What
Now,
beams are you talking about?
the beams on 210, where we demolished, which was not a historic structure, we demolished 208, which we owned.
Oh,
Which
okay.
we owned, because that roof was just completely falling in.
Right.
And it was argued that it was two separate walls and there needed to be these support beams. And we said, this is what we're gonna put up. And remember, it was not designed to be a permanent fix. Now, I did reach out to Tuberville Construction, who are the ones that installed it and did the work on demolishing 208. And he called me and said, I just don't feel safe doing it. And that's fine, that's his prerogative. But, we've got that report that we're looking for, and, we can get another contractor to do it.
Okay.
Rachel is still working on transitioning the website to our new host, Golden Shovel. We're moving from Civics Plus to Golden Shovel. The website is a little, we have the necessary information on it right now, but we're in the process of transitioning everything to the new site. The new site should go live in July, mid-July. The cost savings was $20,000 over a 3-year period, with more coverage and technical assistance, and updated content from Golden Shovel than was provided by Civic Plus. If I can turn the page. A list of properties will be available for download, not only from the EDC, but any possible developers in the city, as well as Main Street listings, city listings, and any other listings that would be a benefit to the city. And as a reminder, budget season is coming up. We're already working with Ashley. It's just getting to be that time of year again. And we're looking at, really, last year we targeted infrastructure. We're looking at updating the terms of our grant program, and maybe keeping it at that 300,000 permanently. Things like that will be discussed during the budget, and especially continuing with infrastructure. I know I talked to Dr. Kelly, and that's That's been one of the citizens' main concerns is infrastructure, as it's been ours. You know, to locate a business into a town, you need good infrastructure. And if you have a reputation as a town that doesn't have good infrastructure and business can't work and they're not coming. Okay. And that's all I have, Mr. President.
Mr. McGinty?
I think most of my questions have been, if not answered, at least discussed a little bit. I have a few things, but I'll have a meeting with Robert one day and get those. My biggest concern right now is for tomorrow night, is that I know we're doing the public meeting thing, but I think it's important to have whatever documentation we were leaning on for the city council. That way they can see we wasn't just trying to shove it off in a corner somewhere. Okay, that's it.
Ken?
I don't have anything this evening, though, but thank you.
I was just curious, I don't even know if you can answer this or not, but the building that's been there forever, and it looks like they're doing something in there, but it says it's by the gas station, and it says it's going to be a truck stop and restaurant. Do you know what's going on there, Robert?
That's Dino, right?
But it looks like they're doing some stuff in there, because now all this,
They just broke ground. That's our friend Dino and that truck stop that they had proposed a while back. And that is now in the process of breaking down ground. I don't know if it was today or
no,
yesterday.
it's
but
not
was
breaking
very
ground.
recent.
Maybe I'm talking about the wrong place. Well, when you say breaking ground, it's a building.
Yes, they're tearing down, the building.
They're gonna tear down the whole building?
Yes.
Really? Because I think at one time it was gonna be a funeral home, right? They're gonna tear down that whole building and start from scratch?
I think what they're doing right now, the facade that's around the windows, they've taken all that substructure off. And that's what I've seen so far. And I don't know anything other than that.
Our meeting this morning, Reggie just let us know that they were getting the property prepared to put in. It's not a truck stop like you're thinking of, it's more of a convenience store type truck stop. But the company name is called Truck Stop, so that's why there's a lot of confusion. But they're prepping the property itself to get that put in.
Okay.
They're not actually tearing down the building.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're removing this.
Okay. And any chance by anybody looking, or I don't even know if you can say, but that old IBC building is such an eyesore. Is there any possibilities with anything happening with that IBC?
There's problems with, if it is taken over, it's got the ingress and egress problems with TechStop because it falls into a new classification. And that's been the problem with that building for quite some time. Because of where the highway is, it wouldn't be grandfathered in.
So it would be hard for some business to actually go into there.
They'd have to make modifications according to TechStop. That would be costly. I don't know, do you have anything to add to that? Yeah, that's what the problem is. I mean, we've had people inquire about that, but I want to say it's the setback would change and make it a smaller footprint, et cetera. And that's been the issue with that building.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
So I've got a response on that truck stop thing. There's an exact same sign. I've taken a picture of both of them in front of a building out on 332. And I've noticed more little activity and pickup trucks parked around that here in just the last few days too. And it makes more sense to me that that's the name of the company is Truck Stop. Because I've been trying to figure out how on earth
is
So
gonna
they
be
gotta get
trucks.
18-wheelers in and out of that place.
Well, if you recall, we had that city council meeting last fall or somewhere.
Yeah.
Where there was, you know, people
Months
were bringing
back.
their pitchforks back practically.
Yeah.
But it was just the name, you know.
Okay, that makes more sense.
You have
Trying to think
anything
of
else,
that.
Ronnie?
Huh?
You got anything else?
Trying to remember. Oh, I was gonna apologize for being so late. I mean,
Oh,
I've been doing tax form 1041
oh, Lord.
all day today, and that's a booger. I've done it, it's for estates and trusts.
I know how your wife is. She
And,
got you going.
No, she doesn't have anything to do with it. She won't touch it. But when my parents passed away several years ago, they set up a trust for my youngest brother, who's got some real mental problems. And he's still living independently, but I'm in charge of controlling a lot of the money that might be available to him.
Okay.
And I'm about ready to turn it over to my sister, because that's the way the will was set up. As soon as I die or get tired of it, I pass it on to the next sibling. And that's a booger of a form, but I was seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and suddenly realized, shoot, it's 5 minutes till 6.
Well,
I
I'm
got
glad you're
somewhere I
here.
need to be.
I'm glad you made it.
Thank you.
Gary?
Just when I sat here and cogitated a little bit on the information we're going to be gathering from the new systems, I started thinking, do they share? Do they share that with other nearby cities? And where is their loyalty to us? Do we go into a system and a database where some other city notices that they can get something set up before we can and attract our people or our opportunity away from us? So where's their loyalty associated?
With Placer AI, if they were to share any of our information with another city, that would be grounds to terminate the contract immediately. But it's us pulling the data, and it's not them sharing it. So it's basically a collective where, yes, any city can click on our city, click on properties and get who owns the property and things like that. But they can't get information as far as what we are bringing in, because that's with me and Robert, and with Dr. Kelly there. So that information can't be shared as far as what's coming in, because that is going to be us talking to them. But anybody could, in essence, like I said, click on like this building and see who owns it, just like you can with the Brazoria County Appraisal District. So it's the same concept. You can see everything on the Brazoria County Appraisal District if you have the address. They would be able to do the same thing. Them finding businesses that would fit into our area, that would be a waste of let's say like Jackson, because that information wouldn't work for their area because their demographics are different. So it's a mountain of data that we're pulling, not necessarily that they could share it with another city.
It's a valid concern here. With, you know, number one, that'd be just very poor business practice and would probably put them out of business if they were known for doing that. But, you know, if you recall, we just went to Atlanta to compete, and somehow, and this is nothing against our friends at the Greater Houston Partnership, but they're representing 3 different sites in the area. How can you be for something and against it at the same time? You know, so it's a valid concern. But again, in all my surveys of other directors, I didn't hear anything even remotely about that.
I just know human nature and money and opportunity and data. Information is power and money, and I'm just curious. You know, I don't know if I've lived a particularly jaded existence, but I've been the recipient or witness to a lot of situations where the knowledge gets passed on in one form or another. But that's all. I just kind of popped up in my head. Well, at the very least, though, we have the same tools everyone else does, is what we need. So, all right, that's all. My mind was out there.
No, that's very valid thoughts.
Okay.
I just, if you guys get a chance, look at this book that Rachel's put together. It's kind of a consortium of what we've done. It's an accumulation of, what our accomplishments have been and what we've gone through as a board, and it's really a good doc. I think at some point in time,
We will release that to the board, Mr. President, but because of your privilege as president, we've only released it to you so far for
Yeah.
review. We're just in the final stages of reviewing that, and then we'll release it to the full board for comment and et cetera.
okay.
You have that personal privilege, Mr.
Thank you,
President.
sir.
Yeah, I was fixing to come over to your house and read it.
I know it.
It's a long
We-
walk.
Rachel also put together a brochure for the senior citizens.
Good.
And if she could see that, it's also well done. So thank you for that. I don't have any other comments. That's it. Can we go in executive session now?
Just keep
It is now 7:26. Sorry about that. Executive session is now 7:26, and I hereby recess the regular session of the Freeport Economic Development Corporation meeting and do hereby convene into executive session in compliance with Texas Government Code Section 551.071 and 551.074 and 551.087.